Alright, so we're going to work our way through a couple flies. I'm here in Pennsylvania at Precision Fly, and I'm going to tie Shakey Bealy, which is a Western pattern. We can use it here in the East. Good steelhead fly as well, wet fly. And in the vise, I've got a Daiichi 1550, size 8. And then for thread, I'm just using regular 70 denier Danvilles. So that's what we're going to use for thread. This is in orange. So I'm going to start my thread, leave a little space for the head of the hook, head of the fly, and put down a nice thread base. So this is a variation. So this has got a little bit different materials in it than the traditional. And the first thing we're going to do is put in a tail. So I'm going to get to the end of the shank and park my thread. So right above the barb. For the tail, I'm going to put in some of this Indian henback. So just a little soft hackle. And I'm going to use that for the collar as well. So I'm going to strip away some of the fluff, get down to the barbs here. I'm going to even them up and pull it off the stem. So this is our little tail. We're going to slide this in, tie that down. And that tail's about the gap of the hook. So the original pattern has thread for a rib. I'm going to change that up. I'm going to use this micro tubing pheasant tail for our rib. I'm going to tie this on the bottom of the hook. Get that positioned to the base of the tails. Now we're ready for the dubbing on the back of the fly. So the dubbing is super fine, and then this is in amber. So the back half of the fly, we're going to dub a nice tapered body. Just get it on the thread here. Better to go sparse and put it in a couple layers than to try to do it all at once. So at the base of the tails, we'll start here. We are going to taper it a little bit, so we'll use that up. Add a little bit more. So this is just the back half of our fly. Keep that dubbing noodle nice and tight. And there's our little taper. Now we're going to grab our rib. We're going to come forward with this, stretch it a little bit. We'll get about 5 turns in there. So there's 4, there's 5. Tie that off. Nip off the excess. Now for the thorax of the fly, we're going to use ice dub in orange. We're going to put it in a dubbing loop. So I'm going to extend out about 3 inches of the thread, double it up, come back up, wrap it around, get our dubbing loop secured. And then I have a little hook tool I'll place in there to hold it open. And then keep this sparse. So we're going to just tease out a little bit, elongate it a little bit, and we'll slide it into our dubbing loop and spin her up. Now I have some Velcro here. We can tease this out a little bit. We'll just leave it right on that hook, and then in touching turns, attach it to the hook. I'll look messy at first, but we'll fix that up. You can see I'm pulling the material out of the way on each wrap, not to trap too much going forward. We'll tie that off about an eye length back of the hook. We'll park our thread at the back of that headspace. Now we can come in here with our Velcro, really tease this out. And it's a bit longer than I like it, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold everything forward, and just in front of the eye of the hook I'm going to snip it. So that's our sparkly little thorax. Now we're going to come back in here with that Indian hen back again. A little bit larger feather. We're going to prep this by getting rid of the fluff again. And then I'm going to come up into the feather about a good inch. These are long feathers, 3/4 of an inch to an inch, and open up the center of the feather. We're going to tie this in by the tip. And now we're ready to fold and wrap our hackle. Just going to pull everything off to the side. This feather should fold nice and easy towards the rear. You can see we have a leading edge now. We're going to wrap that over. Try to keep that leading edge going forward. Two or three turns will be plenty for this. And then tie that off. Build ourselves a nice little tapered thread head. We can trim or pop off this stem. Now we're ready for the whip finish. Snip off the thread, and that's our little Shakey Bealy.